Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Excellent Way. I am Brandon Garcia, aka Coach B, and we are back at our Questions About CrossFit series. And today I get to talk to my old friend Rob, and I say old, not that he's old, although he and I are getting old. He and I have been friends for a long time, and he asked maybe the most asked question about CrossFit, which is, why is it so expensive? And this has become arguably my favorite question about CrossFit to answer. And so Rob and I end up having a really great conversation about the difference between expensive and valuable. So without further ado, here is Rob and his question about CrossFit.
Welcome back to The Excellent Way, guys, and I am here with Rob. Now, Rob and I go way back. We went to high school together, and I put out my Facebook post to talk about, hey, what's your concerns about CrossFit, questions about CrossFit, and Rob had one that I hear a lot, and so I get to have this conversation. So what was your question?
So my question is, why is CrossFit so expensive?
That is a great question. This is my favorite. This might be my favorite question. So when you look at like a normal gym, right, like a Planet Fitness, or so we'll kind of separate these out category-wise, like Planet Fitness, Choose Fitness, Vasa, those are like the $10 a month gyms, right? You go to that gym and you're paying for access. I'm just going to go in, I'm going to use this stuff. Okay? Now, what we don't see on the business end of that is at gyms like that, they're backed by like multi-million-dollar hedge funds that, you know, they've got time to mature, things like that, and so they can charge the $10 a month. Then you have stuff like Anytime Fitness and Snap Fitness, and some of the, maybe they're like $40 or $50 a month. Similar kind of thing, right? They've got money backing them, bigger companies, and you're paying for access. And then you get into the biggest ones, 24-Hour Fitness, which went bankrupt actually this year. Right. Lifetime Fitness, I think those are the only two really big ones left, and 24 Hours on their way out. But the thing about gyms like that are selling access is, and the cool thing is I got to actually see this because I worked for Snap Fitness for 6 years. When they build out those gyms, and they build out these companies, they build their business plan when they present to investors on what's called an 80% subsidy. So 80% of the membership is going to subsidize the use for the other 20%, meaning that 80% is going to use the gym for a maximum of 6 weeks per year and never step foot again, but continue paying for it. Okay? Out of that 20%, out of that group of people, there's only about 10% that actually use it year-round. Most of the rest of them make it about 8 weeks to 90 days and then never step foot in the gym again. So you have about 90% of people who have gym memberships that will use it for a total of maybe 90 days and continue paying for it. And they have the data to back this up. They'll use it for 90 days and pay for it for 3 years before they actually try to cancel it. Right? So they have all this money subsidizing the use of the gear for very few people, right? And it all boils down to you're paying for access. Because then after that, if you want a trainer, you want to take a class or anything like that, those are all extra fees that they add on top of that, which is fair. They should do that because they got to pay those trainers and things like that. When you step into like a micro gym, like a CrossFit, we're doing this everything on our own, right? Like we jumped into it just like any other small business owner.
Right.
Now, our investment compared to like a restaurant owner, way smaller. But the big part of that is when you step into a gym like ours, you're paying for a coach, right? You're paying for a trainer. So I'll just use our rates as an example. So we have 2 rates. One is 145, one is 165. Those rates are based on our ability to make sure that the bills are paid and keep the lights on and doors open, but then also our ability to pay our coaches for the classes that they coach, and then be able to pay ourselves as business owners. But it's from that point, you're no longer paying for access, you're paying for coaching that comes with access. Right? And so that's the difference is when you're paying like a normal gym, like a Globo gym, you're paying for some gear, right? Which is stuff that you could order some of that stuff online and credit card it and pay it off over time and you'd have it, right? You're paying for access there versus in a gym like this, you're paying for an actual human to make sure you're moving correctly, to make sure that you're using the correct weights, to make sure that, hey, you did this last week, let's try this week, right? And then the biggest difference is when I worked for Snap Fitness, this is a smaller 24-hour access type of gym, and I still knew most of the members in that gym. But if they didn't show up for 2 or 3 weeks, no big deal. Like, didn't even occur to me. In my gym, like, if I don't see you for a week, you're getting a text or a phone call from me like, hey, everything okay? Like, how's it going? Like, what's going on? And it's the accountability, right? I want to make sure that you joined my gym for a reason. I want to make sure you're staying on that. One of the reasons I left traditional fitness and moved into this is this allows me more ability to actually make the change I wanted to make as a trainer. So even as a trainer in a Globo gym, like, you have so many other responsibilities that calling and texting your clients on a regular basis is difficult to do. I'm not saying it's impossible,
Right.
but it's also not part of the culture. In a gym like this, it's a part of the culture. Like, I have 3 other coaches that coach with me. 2 of them coach on a regular basis. The other coach just fills in for us. But all 3 of them, if they don't see a member for a week that is in their class on a regular basis, they're shooting them a text.
Right.
Hey man, everything okay? Everything's going well? And what ends up happening is you see people end up sticking to like this idea of I want to change my fitness, right? Because a lot of people that come to us, like I'm pre-diabetic. I got high blood pressure, you know. I put on 20 pounds during COVID lockdown, you know.
Just 20?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point. Just 20? Just 20? When they come to us with that, like myself, my wife, my coaches, they all know, hey, this person's here for this reason. So now when they call you, they'd be like, hey, remember, we're trying to get off the blood pressure meds. You got to be here to do that. And then they're in here the next week, right? So it's kind of a get what you pay for kind of thing.
Right.
So kind of a long answer to say, with a normal gym, you pay for access. With a CrossFit gym, you pay for a coach.
And I think I've heard that term. I've heard it used because I looked into CrossFit a few times. Obviously, I'm trying to the getting off the couch is the hardest part for anybody.
It's the hardest lift of your life right there.
Yeah, it truly is. And I always say when someone says, did you work out? And I say, I did several squats. I went to and from the couch, up and down, and I do several 12-ounce arm curls.
Hey,
as it goes.
You know, those are the best curls to do right there.
Yeah. And I get it. I think as a society, we always want to look for the deal.
Yeah.
And that comes from when I go to the grocery store, what's on sale? Do I have a coupon?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And I'll wait till that goes on sale. Who doesn't go by the clearance section at the end of summer to grab summer clothes potentially for next year?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or who doesn't grab the winter clothes because they have kids that are grown, because the kids are going to be out of their winter clothes. All of a sudden now it's coming to clearance in spring. So, yep, we're going to buy 2 sizes too big because next year you'll be able to wear this stuff. I think it's just society. We always look for those deals. And with CrossFit in general, I've noticed because as I looked into it, and I'm just as cheap as the next guy because I'm like, where's the next deal? And I'm like, it is so expensive, and it doesn't seem to be. You can't find one gym that's really cheaper than the other. They are all pretty, I don't want to say pretty much the same, but across the board, I think you've nailed it in your price range. If that's kind of where the standard is for CrossFit. The one thing I truly worry about for your industry, and I think of like you and your wife, who I did go to high school with as well.
Yeah, we all went to high school. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but I worry about what stops the municipality from, obviously with me working for Erie, what stops Erie from expanding to a building, because they got all, this money comes in, all this funding, or Denver, and they put something like this on, and now they want to pay you, hey, why don't you come work for us? We'll now give you benefits. We're going to pay you a salary, and we're just going to put this on the back bars, and we're going to charge our members who already come to the rec $5 additional, and they can come and use your CrossFit, and you just work for a 40-hour job week, but you stick to this area.
Yeah.
And that may start coming into play because it's a trend thing. As soon as there's something trends in, then they trend out, and unfortunately, those big guys have those funds. And I'm actually surprised Lifetime hasn't done something, because they got they got that massive staff there.
Yeah.
But again, Lifetime is so damn expensive. And as me just being the reasonable person, I look at Lifetime and I'm like, not for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to use 90% of that stuff. I don't want that stuff.
No, yeah.
I don't want the 90%. And when you talk about paying the money on it, when I met my wife, she was a member at Lifetime.
Yeah.
She worked near Lifetime, so she was like, I just get off work, I'm going to go do my workout. And I'm like, cool, works out. And I think she was paying maybe like 40 or something a month.
Okay.
She had one of the lower end deal. I don't know.
She probably got like an initial, like when they opened.
Yeah, it was initial start stuff when they opened. She was right there. And it was within like first year. So her and I meet. Well, then I live up north of Firestone. So she moves up to Firestone. It's now no longer really convenient for her to go there. And I think after 3 years, I finally said, will you just cancel that damn account? Because you pay it and
you're not using it.
You don't use it. And she's like, well, I might go. And I'm like, all right, you have 2 months. If you don't go in 2 months, cancel it. Find something up here if you really want to do something.
Yeah.
Because I think of the money you're driving down there. It's not like you got a bunch of friends there, because sometimes there's a social aspect to it. And I get that too. You get a social group in here, and then you get your workout buddies. Hey, what time you going? I'm going here and there.
Yeah.
And I looked into CrossFit because of my hours at the time. I was trying to find something that was 24-hour based.
Yeah.
That I could potentially have access to anytime I need to, because I was getting off at, I can't work out in the morning. So now I'm working day shift. So I got to be at work at 6:30.
Yeah.
I can't get up. I already get up at 5:30, and it's hard enough for me to get out of bed that I can't get up at 4:30. When I was working a very easy shift from 9 to 7, I was trying to get to a gym at 7:30 in the morning to go work out, which seems most people have already had 2 cups of coffee and have been out and about. And I would get to the gym and I just kind of sit there, and I got free. And because of my position, I had a free membership at a athletic club.
Yeah.
And I got all dressed out. Went into the free weights area. I grabbed some dumbbells, sat down, looked at myself 2 or 3 times in the mirror, thought, am I actually going to do this? Nope, I'm not. Put the dumbbells back, and I go sit in the steam room.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So that's that's part of the reason why CrossFit has become what it has become. And when it came into the fitness industry, traditional fitness looked at CrossFit and boutique gyms like this and like, well, it's just a fad. It's going to go away. Well,
it's not going away.
Here we are 10 years later, and it's bigger than it's ever been. In fact, CrossFit is the largest fitness chain on the planet. There's 14,000 CrossFit affiliates on the planet, and it's not going away.
Right. And the reason I looked into CrossFit was I read a book, this is several years ago, from another person, another guy I went to high school with, gave me the book to read. But it's called The Lean Look.
Oh,
is the name of the book.
Okay,
and it talks about how whether male or female, you want the lean look is the attractive look.
Oh yeah.
When you look,
I can see that.
At a male, you want to see someone that's lean. Female, you want to see someone that's lean. It's not always just about muscle mass and being this massive person, which those guys that do some of those the weightlifting competitions, those bodybuilding stuff, man, those guys are incredible.
Yeah.
But when I was looking into that, and that's what my drive to CrossFit was, because it's body weight
that
stuff.
Lean look,
it's more of the less of the heavy weights, more reps, and I look at, and that's why I looked into CrossFit. My concern with getting into CrossFit is, I know myself, and I am that guy that'd be like, I'd be in it for the first 2-3 months, see some results, and then I'd back out, and then I'd be like, I don't want to pay, because then it comes into that $160 a month. It's that tipping point for me, and I don't even know what that tipping point is. That's definitely over.
Oh yeah, but
where it's like, I haven't gone this month, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because there is their number somewhere that I would write that check or have that auto deduct go
and
out.
you wouldn't even know.
Think about it. I'm not even concerned about it. Like, yep, they got my money this month, not a problem. And you weigh out what a yearly cost is, and I'm like, I just paid this yearly amount, and I go what I go, and to me, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And that's how when I evaluate a gym, if I was going to go, right now I don't belong to one, but if I was, I would evaluate what's this going to cost me in a year, how often am I going to go, and am I acceptable with that number, and boom. And the monthly is the monthly what it is, but I look at the total, because I know, like you said, I'm not going to be here 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 12 months, 4 weeks out of a month, 12 weeks out of a year.
And that's why, now it becomes that discussion, and it's kind of where you're headed, is like this discussion of value, right? Does that thing hold value to you, right? So you had that conversation, like you get dressed out, go to the gym, and you sit there with the dumbbells, and you're like, I'm going to do something, and you're like, no, I'm going to go sit in the sauna, right? In that moment, right, when you get here on that morning where you're like all gung ho and like you're going to crush it, like if you have a coach, they're going to feed off that energy, be like, all right, dude, you know what, today we're gonna try this workout as it's written and not mess with anything. And then you're gonna have that day where you come in and you just had the longest night in history, and all you want to do is go back to bed, but you know you're here, and that dumbbell moment becomes your coach now going, hey man, we're just gonna move today. Put half the weight on the bar and just move, right? And having that person, that external person, even just say something like that. They don't even have to be in your face about it. They can just come by and just be like, hey man, just move today. Don't worry about it, right? It gives you permission to be like, all right, I'm gonna get some movement in, I'm gonna take care of my body today, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go sleep, right? And then now you don't have that kind of like, almost like that guilt of, I just paid all this money and I didn't even do anything, right? You get to walk away with the fact that, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, this is an expensive auto debit or an expensive check to write,
Right.
but man, I'll tell you what, I feel good. And it doesn't matter if it's a high energy day or a, dude, I'm just here day, you know, because we all have those, like, I'm here. That's about all you're getting out of it, you know? And that's, for me, switching into, like, I call it switching industries, switching parts of the industry, that's been the biggest difference maker, is our gym in particular, but really most CrossFit gyms are full of people not dissimilar from you who did the gym thing for a while and they just couldn't make it stick. Like they're just whatever. And the biggest difference maker for them is, one, you have a coach who's paying attention, right? And two, you have your, like you mentioned, your community of people, your friends now who are holding you accountable. You know, we have folks who have moved away that are still connected to the members here. And when we do, like, we're doing a burpee challenge this month, and those old members found out about it, and they're like, hey, text me a picture of the burpee for the day every day, you know? And it just keeps them involved. And that's, I think, with any CrossFit gym owner, that's a win for us. Like,
and kind of what you're talking about there is exactly what again, that's what drives my like and my high curiosity to CrossFit. You know, you and I discussed a few weeks ago when we were texting about this. I just got, so when I got the book from our buddy from school, when I was reading the Lean Book, I then got a meal plan thing. It was the 40-day challenge, or the 40-day shred. What it's called.
Okay.
And I still have it, in case I want to do it again, but it's literally 40 days, and it tells me what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 40 days straight. Yeah. It's like, here's your breakfast, here's your lunch, here's your dinner. It doesn't take any macros into of height, weight, nothing. It just says, here's what you go. I think it's probably just done for the average person. Mm-hmm. So I was doing that. Well, where I benefit from is, it's like, what my thought was, I'm going to have all this stuff. I'm going to learn kind of the foods to eat, how to go about cooking them, because I love food. And I like all food.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
there's a reason I work out so hard. You know?
And I like all food. And so when I saw this, there's nothing on a healthy menu that scares me. I'm like, no, if it tastes good, I'll eat it. I don't care.
Let's eat it.
Let's make it taste good. And if it doesn't taste good, how is it good for me? Okay, well, I'll still choke it down. Then fine. Yeah. We'll get through it. So I do that. Well, it ended up being the same, like, 5 main proteins for like dinners and stuff. Breakfast it was like 2 main breakfast stuff. It was either eggs or it was oatmeal. And so all this got old. I literally was eating the same 6 and 7 foods. So most recently, when I saw a nutritionist, she sends me meet with her. We do a sit down. We actually go over height, weight. She completely does something tailored to me,
which is good.
It's something I paid for that a lot of people wouldn't go out and pay for. But I'm looking at her saying, I'm at minimum going to stick with you for 6 months. We're doing this for 6 months. And so right now I think she gave me 4 to 5 weeks worth of meal planning. But I'm back to, again, I don't wake up and think, okay, what do I need to have today?
Yeah, it's done.
It's done. So when I think of CrossFit, so I go to a gym. Now I go in at 7 a.m. and I sit down, I grab the dumbbells, and it's like, all right, so today is back and buys. Last time I did back and buys, I did bench, you know, and it's think of all that. And I'm like, what do I do today? Well, come to CrossFit, I walk in, what's on the board? Oh, I got to get this done. All right, number 1, cool, where's that at? And you go, and it's like, and so that is my allure to CrossFit.
it's
Because I don't have the drive to do that myself. I don't have and food too. It's like when I come home for dinner, it's like, what do I feel like? Now I feel like chicken. Okay, what kind of chicken? And so you look around, that's okay. I guess tonight I'll make this kind of chicken. Like instead of just, now I have to I meal prep, which I enjoy doing anyway because I have to get up so early.
Yeah.
But I meal prep for usually 5 days. And then I got to cook something else, and mainly it's because to get the vegetables and all the perishables, you got to go to the store, get new stuff. But that's the lure for me to CrossFit in general.
Yeah. Well, in that conversation, you bring up like a really cool like sales phenomenon, right? And then anybody who's been to a really nice hotel or a hotel in Vegas, really in general, right? They've got the mini bar, right? And in the mini bar is a bottle of water. Now, if you go across the street from the hotel to the 7-Eleven, that bottle of water is maybe $2. But in your room, it's $5.50.
Right.
Why? Convenience.
Yep.
You're paying for convenience at that point, right? And so part of what a CrossFit gym provides that you're pointing out is you have a trainer who has already decided for you, hey, this is what you're going to work on today. And not only are they going to tell you what to do, they're going to tell you how to do it, like your nutritionist is doing. Like, not only is she telling you this is what you're going to eat, this is how you're going to eat it. Like, this is when you're going to eat these things.
She damn near tells me this is the time to eat it.
Hey, at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, there was stuff that was put out by this time. You should be through both of these, this meal and this snack.
Yeah, and that's part of that too, right? Is like and
you will consume X amount of water, and that's always my biggest downfall. Because I'm not a water drinker, and she's like and I was never not a big I love breakfast, but usually on work days, breakfast tends to get by the wayside because it's get in, get ready to go, and then something happens, and breakfast just was like, now
you have to.
And now she's like, your breakfast will be the most important. You will get, I don't care how you need to accomplish this, you're going to eat your breakfast, and you're going to get your 70 to 80 ounces of water, and those are the two biggest challenges for me. Like today, didn't make breakfast.
Oh, busted.
Yep.
That's all right, though.
It didn't. I got up. I was trying to get some other things done. Had to get the kids in the online schooling going. But at the time, I'm like, nope, I got to do 2 other things, and then I'm off to meet with Brandon. So tomorrow.
Yeah. Dang. That's it. But that's a good point. Like, this is a win that I wish more people would get, is that like just because you missed it one day doesn't mean you missed it the next day, right? And it just like the whole conversation about the expense of CrossFit, it really comes down to perceived value, right? What do you find valuable, right? For you right now, what you find valuable is, dude, I got to get my eating under control. And I need somebody who understands this better than I do, because I don't. Because it left to your own devices, and you kind of said it, like you'll eat the same like 5 foods every day.
Well, and what I knew was an issue going into it was a portion control.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even like so now specifically, I'm supposed to do 5 ounces of like a meat protein, and then I have like 1 cup of quinoa, whatever. I prefer quinoa over brown rice. I can't stand brown rice, but I have my portion control, where before it's like I would put however many ounces of chicken or beef. So I'm eating the healthy foods, but I'm still eating too much of it at a time, and probably at the wrong time. Yeah.
And so like in the world of trying to step into CrossFit versus a normal gym, those are the big things, right? It's you have a coach who's going to make things easy for you. You don't have to think, you just show up and do. Right? They're going to make sure, and I hate saying this, but at a good CrossFit gym, I hate saying that out loud, but it's true. There are gyms out there that aren't doing what they're supposed to and doing what we're taught to do, right? And that's why CrossFit has the reputation it has for people burn out or people get hurt, right? But if you go to a good CrossFit gym, they're going to make sure you have what you need, right? Gear-wise, they're going to have the workout written for you. They already know, okay, Rob's coming in, and he's really good at this movement, but this is a struggle for him, so today he's going to do this instead of this. Like, they already know that. So when you get here, as you're going through the warm-up, they're already talking to you about, hey, I know this is what's written. For you today, you're going to do this, this, and this based off of that. Right? So that, like, done-for-you stuff. And then it's that accountability piece, right? Like, you know that you're accountable to your nutritionist. So, like, with our members, like, they know that they're accountable to us and our other coaches to show up. And if they don't show up, they know they're going to get a text. They know they're going to get a phone call. And sometimes not just from us. Sometimes it's from the other people in the class, like, hey, bro, it's been a few days. Where you at? And all of those things combine to create the value that make people want to stick doing this. You know, we just, I don't know when this one is going to end up airing. So today is the 10th, and it's my very first member's birthday. He's been with us since the beginning. He was actually a personal training client and then just followed me through CrossFit, right? And the thing that has made him stick is partly because he enjoys the challenge of CrossFit. But really what it is he knows that he doesn't have to think, he's just going to show up and do.
Yep.
And he knows that there are people here who, when he walks through the doors, it's going to be like cheers. Like he walks through the door and, hey, like, and they want to hear about what's going on. Hey man, where you been for the past couple of weeks? Oh, I was doing this and I had this and work and travel and like the environment of it plus the value of it for the people that are doing it. Like they're just like, you know what? This is a cost I'm willing to figure out how to afford, you know? And in some places it is difficult, right? And the cool thing is CrossFit has a new CEO and he's recognized that. So like outside of the US, he's looking at these other countries going, okay, how can we help these CrossFit gyms thrive and create value in those economies? Right? In the US economy, we get taught entrepreneurship at least a little bit. And so we understand how to do that. We understand how to create value. And when people come in and they have that objection, like, hey, dude, this seems really expensive for a gym. Well, yeah, it's expensive compared to, you know, choose.
Right.
Sure, absolutely. But come and try this out for a little while and see, this is why we charge what we charge. And hopefully you'll get value out of it. And what ends up happening is you do get a little hooked, right? And you're like, okay, I want to be here. But really it's that, you know, the coaches there and the owners, if they're doing what they want to do out of a place of passion, they're going to do it well. And then you're going to walk out the door every single time going, dude, this is the best money I'm spending right now.
Right.
You know, and it's a hard thing to sell sometimes, right? Especially if somebody is like, you know, like I have a family and I've got a budget and I've got to watch this stuff. If we can present what we do in a way that's like, hey, this is going to bring big value to not just your fitness, but how you approach everything in life, it's going to be worth it every time.